Imagine this. What if an animal could think like a human? What would happen then? Our story begins with a moment no one expected, when a trainer's jaw was shattered. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, hidden from every satellite and map, there was a facility known only to a handful of scientists and military officers. Its name? Project Lucid. Inside, something extraordinary was kept in a reinforced chamber. A cub, yet not entirely an animal, not entirely alien. Its body was covered in fur, but its eyes gleamed with a strange human intelligence. Every day, Dr. Samir, the lead trainer, entered the chamber. In his hand, a digital tablet. In his heart, an obsession. He spoke softly, almost like talking to a child. "All right, little one, let's try again today. You can understand me, can't you?" For a moment, silence. Then, the cub tilted its head, nodding ever so slightly. The scientists around the room froze in disbelief. One of the assistants muttered nervously, "Sir, that's impossible. It's just mimicking you." But Dr. Samir smiled faintly. He believed it wasn't mimicry at all. It was real understanding. The training session began. Gestures, symbols, small commands. And to their shock, the cub was learning, faster than any AI system they had ever tested. Every pattern, every signal, absorbed instantly, processed with uncanny speed. But then, everything changed. Without warning, the cub lunged. There was no time to react. A sharp cry filled the chamber. Dr. Samir's cry, followed by the sickening sound of bone snapping. In one brutal strike, the cub had broken his jaw. Chaos erupted. Guards rushed forward. Scientists screamed. Alarms rang. But suddenly, silence. The cub did not continue the attack. It simply sat there again, watching. Not angry, not afraid, just staring, calmly, almost knowingly, into the chaos it had created. But the real shock was still to come, because the cub's next move would leave everyone completely stunned.
The chamber was filled with chaos, alarms blaring, guards shouting, scientists frozen in fear. Dr. Samir lay on the ground, blood trailing down his chin, his jaw broken in a way that made even the toughest soldier turn away. But then, something strange happened. The cub did not move. It did not attack again. It just sat there, staring at the fallen trainer. Its glowing eyes flickered with something no one expected, almost like regret. One of the guards raised his rifle. "Permission to fire, sir! We can't risk another move!" The commanding officer barked back, "Stand by! Don't shoot until I say so!" The scientists whispered among themselves, voices trembling. Why did it stop? Why isn't it finishing him? It's waiting. It's watching us. On the floor, Dr. Samir, struggling through pain, raised a bloodied hand. His voice was muffled, broken. "No, don't kill it. It didn't mean to. It was a reaction." The officer looked down at him in disbelief. "Are you insane? It just destroyed your jaw." But Samir's eyes, though full of agony, burned with something stronger than fear, conviction. "You don't understand. It hesitated. It's learning restraint. We can't terminate it now." Silence swept across the chamber, and then something even more chilling occurred. The cub slowly raised one of its small clawed paws and moved it in the air, not randomly, deliberately, as though it was trying to mimic a human gesture. Gasps echoed through the lab. "Did you see that? It's communicating." The cameras above zoomed in, recording every second. The paw motion was not aggressive. It was almost like a wave, almost like it wanted to say something. The guard muttered under his breath, "This thing isn't just an animal, it's thinking." The officer gritted his teeth, torn between orders and fear. Finally he shouted, "Lock the chamber! No one goes in or out until we understand what we're dealing with." As the heavy steel doors slammed shut, the cub lowered its paw and kept staring, unblinking, at the wounded trainer on the floor. And in that eerie silence, everyone felt it. This wasn't over. The cub was planning something. The facility tried to return to routine after the incident, but the atmosphere was heavy, tense. Soldiers stood on edge, scientists whispered nervously, and cameras were doubled in every corner of the chamber. But Dr. Samir, jaw wired shut, speaking only through muffled words, refused to step away. Against the orders of his superiors, he requested secret one-on-one sessions with the cub. And strangely, permission was granted. Perhaps the government wanted to see how far this creature could really go. Inside the chamber, Samir stood alone with the cub. His voice was strained, painful. "You didn't mean to hurt me, did you?" The cub tilted its head, eyes glowing faintly, and tapped a symbol on the floor, the same symbol Samir had taught it days earlier. "No." Samir's eyes widened. He whispered, almost to himself, "You're apologizing." Days turned into nights. Session after session, the cub learned faster. Not just hand signals, but sounds. Broken words, distorted mimicry, until one evening Samir heard something that made his blood run cold. A faint whisper. "Samir." He froze, dropping his tablet. His heart pounded. The cub had spoken his name. Samir leaned closer, his voice trembling. "Say it again." But the cub only stared, its breathing slow, controlled, like it was waiting. That night, Samir couldn't sleep. He kept replaying the sound in his mind, his name spoken in the dark by something that was never meant to talk. Then, at 2 a.m., disaster struck. The facility's power grid flickered, alarms blared, and the chamber lights died out completely. The scientists scrambled in the control room. "Backup generators are offline. Security doors failing." In the pitch-black corridor, Samir grabbed a flashlight and ran toward the chamber. His gut told him exactly where the cub would be. He entered, shining the light into the darkness, only to freeze. The cage door was wide open, and the cub was standing outside, free. Its glowing eyes locked on him, unblinking, unafraid. But instead of attacking, the alarms echoed through the underground facility. Red lights pulsed across steel walls as soldiers rushed toward the chamber with weapons raised. Samir stood frozen, staring at the cub outside its cage. The creature wasn't attacking. It wasn't running. It was simply waiting. A soldier shouted, "Target is loose! Permission to fire!" The commanding officer yelled back, "Take it down before it escapes." Guns were raised, triggers ready. But then the cub moved. Not toward the soldiers, toward Samir. It stepped in front of him, its small frame tense, eyes glowing brighter than before. The soldiers hesitated, confused. One of them whispered nervously, "Wait, it's protecting him?" Samir's voice cracked through his broken jaw. "No one shoots! Do you hear me? Don't touch it!" The officer growled in frustration. "Doctor, get out of the way! This isn't a pet, it's a threat!" But Samir shook his head, clutching his side. "No, this is more than an animal. Look at it. It's choosing to shield me." The soldiers advanced anyway. That's when the cub raised a paw and the entire chamber trembled. A low vibration hummed through the walls, rattling every piece of equipment. The men staggered back, their rifles shaking in their hands. Samir gasped. You're not just learning. You're controlling something beyond us." The cub turned its head toward him slowly, then pressed its paw gently against his chest. And in that instant, Samir's vision exploded with images. Not random, not chaotic, memories. He saw a planet burning in flames, cities collapsing, skies torn apart by war, strange beings similar to the cub crying out in desperation, a civilization destroyed. Samir stumbled back, clutching his head. What is this? Are you showing me your world?" The cub's eyes dimmed as though confirming his words. The soldiers watched in confusion, unable to understand what was happening. But Samir, he knew. This was no experiment. This was a messenger. And the message it carried was a warning for Earth itself.
Samir stumbled back against the cold steel wall, breathing heavily. His mind was still burning with the visions the cub had shown him. Flashes of an alien world, fire in the skies, cities falling into ruin. He whispered, almost in disbelief, You're the last of them, aren't you?" The cub blinked slowly, as if confirming his words. In the control room above, chaos broke out. "Dr. Samir has been compromised. Shut the chamber down before that thing takes control." Military officers stormed in, rifles locked and loaded. The commander shouted, "Terminate the creature, now!" Samir's heart dropped. He spread his arms in front of the cub, shielding it. "No, you don't understand. It's not here to harm us. It's trying to warn us." The officer sneered. "Warn us? It just broke your jaw and nearly tore this facility apart. Step aside, doctor." Samir shook his head desperately. "You didn't see what I saw. Earth is headed for the same fate as its world. War, destruction, extinction. This cub carries their memory, like a genetic message, passed down so we can learn." But the soldiers didn't care about visions or warnings. To them, the cub was a threat, and threats had to be eliminated. Samir turned back to the cub, his voice breaking. "They'll kill you if you stay. You have to run." For the first time, the cub growled, not at Samir, but at the soldiers. The sound was deep, resonant, powerful. It shook the chamber like thunder. Samir whispered again, softer this time. "Go. Please, save yourself." But the cub didn't move. It planted its feet firmly on the steel floor, eyes glowing brighter and brighter. The commander raised his hand. "On my mark, fire!" Samir's breath caught in his throat. He could feel it. Something was about to happen, something none of them were ready for. And when the soldiers pulled their triggers, the cub revealed the true power it had been hiding all along. The commander's voice thundered across the chamber. "Fire!" Triggers were pulled, muzzle flashes lit the steel walls, bullets roared through the air. But none of them landed. In an instant, the cub unleashed a force no one had ever seen before. A wave of invisible energy exploded outward, rippling through the chamber. Guns flew from soldiers' hands, slamming against walls. Lights shattered. The sound of weapons died into silence.
Every man froze in shock. The cub stood tall, small yet radiating immense power. Its eyes glowed like burning stars, but it did not kill. It did not harm. It simply disabled everything around it, forcing the world to stop. Samir stared, trembling. My God, you're not here to fight us. He stepped forward, ignoring the protests of the soldiers behind him. His voice cracked with awe. You've been trying to show me. Your mission isn't destruction. It's to awaken us. The cub's glowing eyes softened. Slowly it lowered its paw and pressed it gently against Samir's chest once more. A final vision flooded his mind, not just of destruction, but of choice. The alien race had destroyed itself through fear and weapons. The cub's purpose was clear: to prevent humanity from repeating the same fate. Tears welled in Samir's eyes. You're not my experiment. You're my teacher. And then it happened. The cub's body shimmered with radiant light. Its form began to dissolve, particle by particle, into glowing fragments that rose like fireflies in the air. No! Wait! Samir cried, reaching out. But the cub only stared at him one last time, as if to say, remember. And then it was gone. Silence consumed the chamber. Soldiers lowered their weapons, unsure whether they had just witnessed a miracle or the end of something far greater. Samir sank to his knees, whispering, Will we listen to the warning, or will we destroy ourselves the same way? The question lingered, unanswered. Traveler, you have walked with me through shadows of another world. What did you feel when the cub made its final choice? Would you trust it or fear it? Tell me in the archives below. If this journey stirred your imagination, then ignite the signal, like this transmission. Share it across your networks so others may join our voyage. And subscribe so we may meet again beyond the stars.